Hey everybody. Not actually an apologetics video, not a political rant, not anything of that nature, just me talking football. The Titans just kind of threw away the last bit of the game there with Indy. Didn't have a whole lot of hope for them. But just kind of wanted to get some thoughts out here. You know, okay, so first of all, I was really mad at multiple points during this game. I'm always really mad. I have a short temper for people doing stuff wrong and things not going well for whoever I want to win, usually myself. But in any case where I'm rooting for somebody, also the team or person that I'm rooting for, and I'm critical. I'm massively overly critical. It's a character flaw. So I could say a lot. I mean, I could talk about poor quarterback play because we had that. I could talk about poor defensive play during the first half of the game. We had plenty of that. Um, Here's the thing. In the heat of the moment, when emotions are riding high, and to some extent, like it's not crazy, right? Like if you have a problem with the way that the Titans played, you're not wrong. Okay. Um, and this is just for Titans fans. If somebody else doesn't care about football or you're a fan of another team, that's fine. Doesn't matter. But at the time, you wouldn't be wrong to have a pretty strong emotional reaction to stuff. My hair is doing some crazy stuff right now. That having been said, we went into this game with no Jarrell Casey, no Logan Ryan, and Sims is a very astute backup. Like he's probably one of the best cornerback fours in the league. So I don't think that was a huge drop off, but there were probably points that in the game Logan Ryan could have made a difference. Definitely points that Jarrell Casey would have made a difference over Daquan Jones and other guys. We went into this game not having Delaney Walker again because hurting the worst football game in history. A lot of people think that they're like one of the lowest scoring football games in history was the worst. No, I'm gonna go with the 7-hour game in Miami, where Mariota first got hurt this season and seemed to recover pretty well the first time. And I don't know if that really had a lot to do with why he couldn't play tonight. I don't know how nerve injuries impact one another. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even close to being one. I don't really know how nerves work on that level. But with Walker out again, Casey out, Brian Arakpo being out, man, Richard Matthews, I don't really know that he would have done much if he had stayed with the team, but I mean, maybe, I don't know. But that was still kind of a morale thing, right? Um, Geez, man, just all kinds of guys hurt, being knocked out of the game. Um, we didn't have our right tackle for the last couple of games. Didn't seem to hurt us too bad in those, but it may have this one. I don't know. Dennis Kelly's great in terms of a backup. I don't think you can ask for more out of a backup tackle. Um, but just at the end of the day, we had so many guys hurt, and then just to put some icing on that cake, we had Mariota. He had that. They still call it a stinger. I mean, we'll probably get more info in the off season as to exactly what's going on. They don't tend to give a whole lot of information about that right before a game or even during the game week. But I mean, we'll know more later. But I'm gonna call it a stinger. That's what they call it. I don't know. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's going on there. But with him having that issue and apparently being unable to play, I mean, it went from a this is going to be by the skin of our teeth game to a holy crap if we can hang in there and maybe on a wing and a prayer get like a couple of really good runs out of Henry for maybe some touchdowns like in Jacksonville, we might maybe somehow get this thing close towards the end. And we had a few good plays. We got the ball back a couple times. Had some guys do some real stupid stuff with the ball too, where we shouldn't have. I mean, if we had played a perfect game, perfect per the skill level and talent available on the roster and so forth, it would have been maybe possible to have come out with a win. It wouldn't have been insane to think that maybe that could have happened. And what would have happened the week after, I have no idea, because again, I don't know if Mariota could have started. I don't know if Brian Arakpo could have started. Logan Ryan and Casey would have been out. I mean, Casey, they were talking about, like, on one hand, they were like, no, he's out for the year. And then the next, it was like, oh, well, you know, he's probably out for a while. We're not sure how long, so I don't know how hurt he was exactly. But, you know, with all that, you know, going on, the fact that we had a first-year head coach, first-year offensive coordinator, who at times was very frustrating to me and a lot of Titans fans for a few different reasons. But nevertheless, being a first-year play caller, and putting together some good game plans and some good play calls from time to time, I think. You know, all considered. Considering we had a way tougher schedule, and considering that we were less than 2 field goals away from an 11-win season, clinching the division, you know, and everything, and the wheels kind of just falling off there at the end after we put together a really good run, and then just that last game just didn't have enough. Just didn't have enough anywhere to get that done. You know, it sucks. But it's 9-7 again. A lot of people are calling that mediocre, but then somehow the Texans and Colts are wonderful for going 10-6, and I'm like, you know, that's literally one score of any game you lose different. Like, and I understand the difference in, like, the best and the worst team in the NFL is like 4 players usually at any given point, most likely quarterback, but generally speaking, put 4 of the best players in the NFL on the worst team in the NFL, and you probably have a going from the worst team in the NFL to a winning season immediately. Even with the same, like, worst coaches around, you probably still have a winning season. So, I mean, I understand that it's a very, very close kind of game. People don't talk about it like that. They should. Honestly, the NFL, the ridiculous premium level of skill that we're talking about, and talent, and work ethic, and intelligence that all of the people involved in these games have it's mind-boggling. So when people talk about, like, a team being really terrible, it's like, yeah, they're really terrible in terms of their win-loss record. In terms of their talent, there aren't really that many terrible teams. There have been very few really terrible teams in the NFL in history. And I'm not just talking about win-loss, but just overall team talent level. But even so, when you're down to a missed 2-point conversion for going 10-6, you know, and even if we had lost this game, like if we'd have beat the Bills, 1 point. We'd have beat the Chargers, 1 point. You know, in both of those games, we were 1 point behind. If we'd have won either one of those, 10-6, this game wouldn't have even mattered. Because the Colts still wouldn't have beat it. If the Colts had beat us, it would have... So? It would have given us... depending on who we beat, I think. I haven't worked out the math on that one. They might have still had a tiebreaker. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at how the rest of the league shaped up. But still, it would have been the same record anyway. And it would have been 3 teams that would have gone 10-6 in the AFC South. And us being one of those, even if we didn't make it into the playoffs, that'd have been really cool. But we didn't do it. We were just that much deficient. Just often enough that it didn't happen. But you know what? 9-7, 3 years in a row? Right? Come on, guys. I know you're NFL fans, and I know you're super picky, and so am I. I feel you. I know all about it. Trust me. I am the most negative, critical fan there's ever been. But really, 3 winning seasons in a row. Come on. We haven't had that in a really long time. We were that close to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And I know there are teams out there, man. You know, you look at the guys. You look at the Steelers in their prime. You look at Green Bay in their prime. You look at the Patriots in their prime. Still. You know, I get it. You look at guys like the Rams from last year and this year. You look at guys like the Chiefs from last year and this year. And you want that for yourself. I totally get it. Totally get it. But you gotta understand, here's reality. The reality is, you're the guy driving the Audi. Okay? Living in the $500,000 house. With the nice job. With the beautiful wife. 2.4 beautiful children. In a nice neighborhood. Okay? And you're looking at Mark Zuckerberg. And you think your life sucks. You're looking at any one of the CEOs of a multinational corporation, and you're comparing yourself to them, and you're going, I'm mediocre. Mediocre. Yeah, by the absolute standards of the best compared to the worst, you're mediocre. In a realistic, down-to-earth setting, you're still so much better than most of what's going on in the world. Like, there are franchises that haven't had 2 winning seasons back-to-back in a decade. I'll take 9-7. I don't like it. I would have liked more. I'll take it. 9-7. Tougher schedule. Injuries. Flukes. Crazy weather. Nonsense. It'll be okay. 97's pretty respectable there. And I get it, all teams have injuries and a lot of them still manage to win, but most teams don't have that many injuries to their absolute key players multiple times in the same year. I mean, come on. And we all know that the injury to Mariota in the first game, plus several other factors on offense, have really inhibited the explosiveness of the offense. Okay? But it's not like even then there were never any explosive offensive games. I mean, come on, the Cowboys game was amazing. The Patriots game was amazing. I'm looking for... Here's realistic, okay? We had probably 3 really good offensive games. Really good offensive games this year. I'm looking to double that next year. Probably with Mariota as quarterback. Can't imagine why they wouldn't. Unless he's got a career-ending injury, and I don't know if it is or not. Again, I'm not a doctor, and I haven't. If it was, I still wouldn't have been able to medically review him. But assuming it's not career-ending, he starts. They'll pick up his option. They'll keep going. They may not sign him to an extension yet, but they'll pick up his option at a minimum. If it looks like he's healthy to go, they'll pick him up. Get some O-linemen who are a little bit better off. Get a wide receiver, another one. Somebody to match up with Corey Davis on the outside, like a legit guy. Keep Tajay Sharp and Taywan Taylor in for whatever other purposes. It'll be alright. Be a good team. Be a really good team. Something to build on. Get Matt LaFleur another year of play calling. It's okay. We're really just a couple free agents and a draft away from probably, as long as we don't have another fluke year, good on the division. We're okay. Good season, guys. Better luck next year.